myself and offered to let me come over and try for about half an hour to an hour. I actually put it on my head, but I have yet to turn it on. So I wanted to see how the fitting worked before I actually tried to stream here. But I haven't actually turned it on yet. One thing is I think my IPD is larger than this headset is meant for. So this, I believe, is the smaller sized Magic Leap 1, and my IPD is larger, I think, than this one is meant for. So if I see any oddness in the... let me make sure I'm streaming here. Yeah, there's some people watching. I just haven't had a chance to tweet it out yet. But if there's any oddness that I see display-wise or optically, it could be because this isn't the right size for my size eyes. All right, so I'm going to discover this thing pretty blind on how to operate it. When they deliver the Magic Leap 1 to buyers, they include a sort of an instruction session. So I was told to press this button for a few seconds to turn it on. I see a little thing there, a little indicator. I hear a little, I heard it click on. I'm not seeing any visuals yet. Here's the controller. So the controller has this button right here, touchpad, secondary button right here, trigger in the back. Now I'm seeing some light from the display, but nothing actually, no objects of any kind. If there's any questions, I'm not seeing any comments at the bottom of the screen right now, so if anyone has commented, I'm not seeing it. But there we go. Now we've got some sound. There we go. Magic Leap floating in the middle of the room right here. And there, I'm seeing the field of view limit for the first time. All right. So I've been told that there's a way to actually... stream from the device, but I don't know if I don't know how to activate it. All right. No controller or MLMA detected. Please connect. All right, so I turned on the controller and tap trigger. Enter passcode. So I should ask his passcode. Let me see here. All right, so what I'm seeing is floating. I'm sitting at a table, and floating about 3 feet on the other side of the table, there's 3 floating islands. Floating island in the middle that's asking me for the passcode. Floating island to the right with some deer, and little floating astronaut. I think I need your passcode. It's asking me for your passcode. So I'm going to try the tracking here. Yeah, how do we enter the passcode? Do you have to enter it on the phone?
Let me see. Maybe we can connect it.
So there's actually a companion app that connects to the Magic Leap 1. It's similar to the way Oculus Go has as an app as well to basically get into to do things on the headset from a device that's more easily. Yeah, he's connected, but I still have to get the password.
What I'll write it for you, then I'll change it after.
Okay.
I'm not concerned.
So I would enter it. You're going to enter it on the phone?
No. Oh yeah, now it's connected. So let me see if you see my input.
No, I don't see anything.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So swiping on the touchpad here goes to the menu for this passcode. I'll explain the field of view in a minute, or at least where I see the field of view in this particular setup. Checking my passcode. Kind of a long checking process there. All right, so I think I'm in. what I'll do is I'm going to walk over here. Let's see. All right. Getting used to this because I've got the... Oh, interesting. We don't recognize your space. So the minute I sat up, it's asking me to scan the space.
Yeah, you could
Okay.
opt in to doing it, and then it would build a mesh of your surrounding. It takes a good 2 or 3 minutes to do it, or you can just kind of roam without looking around.
So I can't turn the camera around so you see what I see. What I want to do is to figure out how to stream from the glasses. I don't know if that feature is there or not yet. I also wonder, it's funny, when I hold the phone up, it's meshing the phone. So right now the mode that the headset is in is looking at the world around me and trying to identify the geometry of the entire room. And I'm holding this phone up directly in front of the lenses, and I think I see the phone being integrated into the geometry of the room because of the way, So like I'm holding it in front of here, and I'm seeing some of the geometry incorporating my phone. So I'm up now, and I'm walking around, and basically I'm seeing lines or dots on every wall of the house. And what it's more or less doing is it's figuring out the geometry of the house before bringing back the environment, right?
Yeah, there's a circle with a wide triangle pointing you where to look at, and it's going to guide you through the space because it wants to build the environment. Do you see?
I'm only saying we don't recognize your space again. We have insufficient data to build your space. Please walk around and look at colorful, non-reflective, opaque objects. All right, so what I'm worried about is I have the big box here, and I need to sort of put it in my pocket. Now, should I strap it to the top of the pocket so that it doesn't get hot?
So what you want to do is keep the computer itself outside so the venting works and it doesn't get overheated and then starts to slow down. So this part needs to stay outside. This goes into your pocket.
So this side goes in the pocket. All right.
Yeah.
So now I'm portable. And let's try the scan again button. So you said there should be arrows pointing me to sort of explore?
When I did it the first time, that's what it guided me through, so...
It's interesting because this is obviously not a VR headset, this is an AR headset. So I can see the world around me really easily. There's no way to really easily scan this sort of environment with a VR headset right now because you're blocked off from the world around you. So it's saying it can't recognize the space, so there's no content, and there's no content to restore. However, the content you create now will be saved for next time. So now I've got floating objects right next to you. Okay, this is interesting. So it's basically recognized this as a new space, but I've got the main menu now. And the main menu has gallery, invaders, user guide, Helio, apps, screens, world, social. Alright, so what I'm going to explain, let's see if I can do this. Can I get you to hold the phone for a minute? And basically walk to that side of the room if you could. And here's what I'll try to describe. Right now, floating in front of me, there's the main menu about this far. This is how far the main menu goes. If I walk over here, there's a main menu right about here. Let's turn this camera here. So I see a menu floating in space right about here. This is where I see something. So there's a circle of objects. A ball right here, a ball right here, a ball right here. All these balls in space, and in the middle there's a turtle with a man on with a knight riding the turtle. So I back up right about here. is where things start to get cut off. So here are the objects, and I can see them all right here. When I get to about here is when these little objects start to get cut off. So I go in a little bit, and the top of the screen is cut off right here. If I go in a little bit more, the bottom of the objects are cut off here. If I step back and just leave those objects floating over there in the middle of the room, they're pretty believable. They're partially opaque. I mean, they're not fully transparent. I can't see through them. The owner of the Magic Leap 1 is standing on the other side of these objects, and he's blocked by some of these objects. They really do believably float in the middle of the room between me and him. As soon as I start moving in to about here is when I start cutting off objects and sort of remind myself that I'm in AR, that I'm wearing AR glasses.
And I can see the digital images reflected, by the way. Standing here,
You can see them here?
I can see them.
Interesting. Yeah, this is a really powerful demonstration of the potential of this type of optic system. This looks better than HoloLens to me now that I've got this sort of system. What I have yet to kind of try, you've literally watched all of my time with Magic Leap 1 on this live stream. But when there's a character running around, if that character stays in the center of where I'm looking, if that character keeps my attention focused on that character, and if that character is small enough and far enough away, I may never notice the edges of the field of view. I may never notice that character reaching these areas where I can no longer see digital objects. So that's a powerful thing. The difference between field of view, which what I understand it to be on HoloLens, if you hold your hand like this, HoloLens might be somewhere like this. You may see digital objects in a cone moving out there about here. This is a little bit wider, and I definitely feel that slightly wider thing happening here. I think it makes a dramatic difference. Even though it's slightly different, it matters a lot in being able to track objects. So, but I really need to experience some of these characters. So let's see if I can try Invaders. That's coming soon. Of course. So I just basically placed a trailer for a game that isn't here yet in the middle of this living room. That's kind of weird. Alright. Let's see if we can get back to the main menu. Here, I'll take this back. Thank you for holding that.
Sure.
Let's see. There's the main menu. Let's see if you can see. Oh, you can actually see the optics that way. Interesting. Or you can see what I'm seeing. You can also see the reflection of the phone. But you can see the objects that way a little bit. Let's try create. Yeah, you want to see through the eyes. I know. Okay. So let me try it. Oh, interesting. Welcome back, ready to set up your play space. Look around to set up your play space. Alright, I'm going to set up the play space and I'll let you see through the lens, okay?
What?
I'm letting people see through the lens of Magic Leap 1. Now keep in mind this will not be a good sense of what it feels like to wear the glasses. I'm just waiting for it to figure out my play space. It's still looking for the geometry of the room and trying to find out where I am. I guess I'll just... Okay, let's do this. Alright.
Maybe there's a way to stream on the headset.
I will try streaming from the headset too. It's live. You think it's in there now?
I heard, but I don't know.
All right. So let me give a walk around through the lens this way, and then let me see if I can figure out a way to actually stream. All right. So I'm going to walk through the house here. So this is the geometry view. This is the view where it's trying to create a map of this house. So you see that grid that's sort of building is the map of the space. All right. So I think I'm going to stop the broadcast here and see if I can figure out how to turn on streaming directly from the device. And if I figure that out, I'll turn it back on. Thanks you all for tuning in, and I'll do another one in a few minutes. Thanks.